For tonight's homework, I'm going to have you copy down the problems and then write a sentence about each type of one. So there's 4 main types, so that'll be 4 sentences, and put your name on it. That'll be the first module 4 graded assignment. So feel free to stop video and restart it. And here I go. The 4 main types of problems I'm looking at today to get you ready for the module are basic inverse operations, where you're doing the opposite to get the x or the variable all by itself. We'll be talking about combining like terms, the step you got to do before you start doing inverse operations. We'll talk about the distributive property, where you multiply a number by both things on the inside. And then we'll talk about the basic left, right, left steps to solving a variables on both sides equation. Some of these problems I will be checking to taking my solution and plugging it in to prove that it works. So here we go. For the first problems, I'm going to do the inverse operations on the top left. So x plus 4 equals 10, x minus 3 equals negative 9. Make sure you know all your negative rules. You need to be really strong with negative, positive numbers. So for the opposite of adding 4, we'll be subtracting 4 on both sides. Make sure you do the same operation to both sides of your equation to keep it equal. Opposite of subtracting 3 will be adding 3. The opposite of multiplying by negative 2 will be dividing by negative 2. So that problem is negative 2 times x. So the opposite is dividing by negative 2. Not just 2, but by negative 2. And the last one, the opposite of dividing by negative 4 is multiplying both sides by negative 4. And then I'll plug in a couple to check. Here we go. So the first problem, I did the opposite of adding 4. I subtracted 4 on both sides. If opposites go away, all it leaves you on the left side is x. 10 minus 4 gives you 6. So the solution to that equation is 6. If I took that 6 and plugged in for x, it would give me a true statement. Next one, I added 3 to both sides. Negative 9 plus 3, knowing my negative rules, is negative 6. I divided on the third one, divided by negative 2, gave me negative 5. And then the fourth one, I multiplied by negative 4. I'm going to do a couple checks in blue, and then we'll move on. The next problems are combining like term problems. So on those, I need to combine all my like terms before I start my inverse operations. What I'm going to do in red are a couple of common mistakes. People who do an inverse operation to the same side of an equation, you never want to do that. So what I'm doing here in red, you do not want to do that. Never do inverse operations to the same side of an equation. So the correct way to do those problems will be to combine my like terms together and then do my inverse operations. So I'm going to combine my like terms together in blue and start my inverse operations in green. So first problem, I combined 2 and -5 to get -3. Brought down the negative with the 3x. Make sure you do that. And then my inverse operation is adding 3 to both sides. And then last inverse operation, dividing both sides by -3. Don't want to add 3 right there. Divide. Because -3x is -3 times x. The last problem there, I combined 5x minus 2x to get 3x. Brought down the -3. Added 3 to both sides to start my inverse operations, divided by 3, and then I unmix that fraction to get 4 and 1/3. I'm going to do one check in red. So you can see when I did my check on that one, I made a big mistake. When I added 9 and 3, I should have got 12. So when you're doing a check, it's a good way to go back and see if your solution is correct. So I will fix that. So you can see when I plugged in the real answer, which was -4, it made that work. All right, the next problem is a distributive property. Make sure when you have a number out front, when you're multiplying by more than one thing on the inside, you multiply that by both things or even three things or four. So I'll do the distributive property in red, and then I'll start my inverse operations in blue. On that problem on the right, don't be faked out by x's and y's. That math is coming. And then the last problem, variables on both sides. I'm going to start on the left side, go to the right, and then go back to the left, and then I will check that. So the steps to these, always stair step it the way we like to do it here at Ventura High. Start on the left, get rid of the plain number, the -2, go to the right, get rid of that 2x, and then go back to the left and do your division. So here we go. So make sure for homework tonight you write down each problem. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 problems. The checks are up to you if you want to write those down. And then write a key sentence about each of the 4 types of problems that I did here. So that'll be 9 problems and about 4 sentences. Turn that in tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.